And if there are, in fact, photos that we have that no one else ever had,
right,
we just gathered all the stuff from all the normal sources. And we must have ended up with something we didn't know we had.
Oh, of course.
Well, the Masons, of course, founded the United States.
Okay.
I mean, Masonic tradition of philosophy is a stunningly important adjunct to the advancement and evolution of the
Martian revelation.
UFO Diaries.
Mysterious pictures.
To, the old Army phrase, be all that you can be.
Mars revealer.
Masons are not bad guys. Masons are good guys.
Are we talking about Freemasons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They are the heirs apparent of the Templars, from the Middle Ages, who became very powerful by finding something in Jerusalem, under the Temple Mount.
Is there any way maybe I can get copies of these images that were used, or am I being out of my bounds of, I don't mean disrespect?
No, I think these are in the crate somewhere right next to the Ark of the Covenant.
Pull this big thing over here. Go see what this lodge has that we can add to make it look weirder.
Like
let me again give you the three possibilities with this.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, we filmed this in a Masonic lodge. Old Masonic lodge built in the 1800s. Okay, it was a very weird place, and that's why we filmed there.
Okay.
And I have always had strong feelings that these Masonic lodges knew something and were passing on something, down through time that we needed to know. No, we filmed it at a Masonic lodge.
Now, again, so these faces basically were moved around, and what other possibilities that you see that maybe...
Well, first of all, if someone could have come in and added photos or rearranged photos pretty easily, and we wouldn't have even noticed or probably cared, honestly. Think about this. Scientists require usually 3 sources.
Right.
But secondly, Lee Shackleford and I wrote those words, okay? I mean, we wrote them, and we were the writers.
Well, then I'm sorry about any what may sound like accusational tones and stuff like this. Because, you know what I mean? Of why that would look like that. And I appreciate you being on, because the listeners are really concerned and interested in this, because still their logical mind, no matter what we say here, and I know that these faces are real, but I would love if I could get these images in my hands personally.
Let's continue to pursue this a little further, though, because
I'm all over to that.
I'm headed somewhere with this.
Richard Hoagland,
a member of our team of intelligence, who's head of the equivalent of NASA of the day. When I say inside, I mean inside the U.S. government, not necessarily within NASA. But even those documents, when it comes to the actual technologies that they were involved in, these really cutting-edge technologies, are very ambiguous. They can be interpreted in several ways. Now, I think in part it's because the good stuff has not been released yet, or it hasn't even been found yet.
Right.
There are mysterious deaths associated with some of this documentation.
So someone could have rearranged the photos. We wouldn't really have cared, and we'd have probably we'd have said, so the art director's come in and done this, and it looks nice, and let's shoot it.
Right.
The words were Lee Shackleford and mine. Now,
there is a clause statement to this UFO Diaries series, and it states, UFO Diaries makes no claim about the authenticity of the events in this program and considers the program a forum in which alleged events and issues can be shared with the general public. The veracity of the events is for the viewer to determine. And with me as a viewer, I have determined. Now, that's why I asked you, because, you said Hoagland gave you these images. And you said it twice, and I was like, well, no. Well, Richard says no, because Eric Shackleford also said, when I asked him, that Richard Hoagland gave him the images. That gave those images. I said, oh, man, are you sure? He said, yeah, 2 different times on the show I had them. And so that implicates a lot here. That's how he became involved. Preponderance of evidence and needing to know the truth. And that's what this code in this UFO Diaries is basically saying and showing. Implication has arisen against Hoagland by a couple of people that I've been discussing this with, and intently. The thing is that if Hoagland presented these images, So that implicates a lot here. I mean, they're the ones that brought me these issues. They're the ones that wanted me to talk about this with you on the show, and that's why I'm taking this time to, and I appreciate your patience with this because it's going somewhere. And the thing is, my big role in this
Martian revelation,
mysterious pictures,
is trying to say, hey, if Richard provided these images and, you know, he's been holding out, basically he has these faces of Mars, well, so that implicates a lot here.
Well, I'm suspicious.
And that is the problem, you know, within this
Martian revelation,
Mysterious pictures,
where there's
Martian revelation,
mysterious pictures.
the implications. I'm just trying to give you the different dimensions that's opening because of this. And because I uncovered it, I have to follow it down, and everyone wants to
Face on Mars, mysterious pictures.
you know, but I think it's inspiring. And that's what that video did for me. It just lays out in the code other evidences is given out that's continuing on that makes me crack up because they're going so out of their way to get Richard's attention, and of course they obviously even predicted that he wouldn't believe it. You know, and it is proof of evidence once and for all that intelligent life existed. You know, I mean, intelligent life, meaning what? An intelligence agency. And the reasons why that we would want to get a closer look at Cydonia, and we did, they're saying, and that's why. So that implicates a lot here.
That is why all of us are bringing so much pressure now to bear on NASA,
Richard Hoagland,
a member of our team of intelligence, to specifically and exhaustively rephotograph the Cydonia complex on
UFO Diaries,
Mars.
in the region designated as Cydonia.
The thing that overwhelms me is the possibility that on some of those images of Cydonia, we will find conclusive proof of a connection between them.
This host set was done in a lodge in Salt Lake.
I gotta ask you though, is there any way that I could ever have a hope to hold these images in my hand?
If you're talking about the original images that were on the wall, the only thing we still have, we have our footage library.
Of intelligence.
It's vast. We have thousands of tapes in it, literally thousands.
But even those documents, when it comes to the actual technologies that they were involved in, these really cutting-edge technologies, are very ambiguous. They can be interpreted in several ways. Now, I think in part it's because the good stuff has not been released yet, or it hasn't even been found yet.
Right.
There are mysterious deaths associated with some of this documentation.
We do have all of our original camera rolls and all that, even from back then. We still have them. What we would have, and I'm pretty sure we still have it, is the original camera rolls that were shot the day that the host was shot. So then you'd be able to hear the director talking in the background. You'd be able to see other things going on while they're rolling that you can't see in the show. The pivotal point of all this is the director, because the director would have pointed the camera, would have told. See, no actor does anything that a director doesn't tell him to. They don't.
Okay.
That's not the way it works. Michael Flynn's a very good actor, and he delivers the lines the way he's told, and the right direction, and with the camera the way it is, and so forth.
Okay.
The one thing that I find odd, I can't remember who directed it. So then you'd be able to hear the director talking in the background. You'd be able to see other things going on while they're rolling that you can't see in the show. The pivotal point of all this is the director.
So I guess, Chuck, I'm going to ask, why don't you remember who the director was?
Why wouldn't I be able to remember who directed it? I can't. I can't bring a picture to my mind of who it was. So then you'd be able to hear the director talking in the background. You'd be able to see other things going on while they're rolling that you can't see in the show. The pivotal point of all this is the director. And mind you, I work with the people I work with for year after year after year. We don't have new directors. We don't have new directors of photography or new production designers, you know. I mean, I can name you everyone that was on the set that day, but I can't name the director. I don't know why.
Huh. It's one of those things.
It's got to be someone I knew. It's got to be someone that I worked with, but I'll be darned if I can tell you who it is.